having a nice little countdown there to start things off for our first match of the day, guys. PCL number 11. Make sure you get those Matcherino codes going in. We do have the codes on the screen in-game as well as during our break, so make sure you head over there and get them donations working. But our first band is going to be The Wraith from Reborn.
Still a very strong hero. You see him all the time. Just to back it up, is critical to a lot of team success in matches. They can then chain stuns on top of it, so you back it up into a Severog route or a Rampage stun. So pretty typical to see. I'm going to be expecting a Gideon ban. We've been seeing that pretty much non-stop in recent sort of scrims and play matches that we've been watching throughout teams. He's an incredibly strong hero with the changes, and it depends on whether or not Hoist the Colors are okay giving it up. And there it is. There's the Gideon ban, as I said.
It seems like with the current patch, there's a hell of a lot of heroes that need to be left on the table. Iggy sort of comes to mind as one of those. We've got Grux, we've got Shimby still. Shimby's going to be the first pickup for Reborn, so it turns out Reflect is not going to be that one-trick pony Greystone that we usually see. So we're going to see some Shimby play, which is kind of a treat. I've been seeing it a lot in some of the matches that I've been watching, but not really showing her face too much in competitive play.
Yeah, she's been growing up in popularity. Is incredibly strong offlaner, really tricky to hold down. And we also see here the Richter jungle. I suspect it's going to be in the jungle. Arguably the strongest jungler right now. The next closest would be the Grux or the Rampage. But Richter has great clear, pretty safe engage with the pull. He doesn't have to put himself in a worse position compared to Rampage rest and then walk up to do the rest of his damage. Although Rampage is still fairly strong, even with the removal of his jump. So nice to see. And Narbash and Rampage coming out onto Reborn. It's going to start to build up this composition that we're seeing. Shimby, sort of long-term fights, because there's a lot of regen on that side of Reborn right now. Makes it pretty difficult to kill them.
Also going to see the Grux come out from Hoist the Colors here. I kind of like the beginning of their draft. They seem pretty ambiguous with it, and they're going to pick up what seems to be another jungler. Are we going to see a triple jungle strat from Hoist the Colors?
This is going to be the Grux carry, maybe, that we've been seeing. Sort of the Deathcrawler Grux carry, where you go for like the 2k damage with one hit. I suspect that's what's going to come out here. I'm not sure what they're going to be doing with the Severog, offlane Severog and Richter support, it looks like.
Yeah, they kind of came out pretty quickly with these last couple of picks. They have a lot of damage potential on Hoist the Colors. They have a lot of relocation as well. If I'm taking a look at it, they've got the Smash and Grab, the Colossal Blow, and the Whiplash as well, just to combine for all of these displacement abilities from Hoist the Colors. So if they can isolate one of these heroes from Reborn, I think they got a pretty good chance at getting him down.
Yeah, they do. However, Reborn has a lot of sustains. So Shimby, the one of the main annoyances of Shimby is she can stay in fights for a really surprisingly long time. With the dash, she can dodge around a lot of the CC that's going to be coming out. She can dodge like the Grux pull, the Richter pull, and even the Subjugate from Severog. If she can get to that point in the game where she can't easily be killed, I don't know. It's going to be rough. It's going to be a tough match to call. Both comps are fairly strong. And it's going to be up to this Fangtooth that I've been trying to talk about. So Fangtooth now, the first couple of levels of it can severely sort of snowball out of control, depending on which team manages to secure it.
Well, before we get too much further with our analysis, let's actually talk about a game as we start up in 3, 2, 1, go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into our first match of the day. It is going to be Hoist the Colors versus Reborn. You can see I actually went through the trouble of putting a nice little in-game timer up there for you guys, since we do not have that in the replay. But let's go through and introduce our teams. Over on the left side, which I will switch real quickly for you guys, is going to be Reborn. Jay Leo on the Rampage. We've got Master Splinter playing a Narbash, Reflect hanging out on the Kawaii Shinbi. We've got Nadosick playing a Murdoch. And then finally, it's going to be the Involve in the mid lane with the Belka.
And on the side of Hoist the Colors, we've got Angel Inferno, Theodore Barrage, the Oracle, Ninja, and Shurik. I believe that is Shurik.
It is Shurik.
Said it was Shurik.
Yep.
That is Shurik on the Severog. I'm surprised to not see... We've seen sort of the standards set up at the beginning. We're going to see the white camps being taken over, by the way, for the junglers. Severog, have you been seeing? He's been switch to the offlane a bit more, I think, because of how much more difficult it is for him to get some of those stacks in the early levels in the jungle. He can get the early levels now here in the offlane and then start to stack up just at a slightly slower pace, but it's a bit safer.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Sevrog in the jungle actually as of late. So Shurk, he's kind of switched over into that role recently as it's more where the carries go. Actually, early we see both supports going for some skill shots. Master Splinter with a thunk, Oracle with the Riplash, both of them missing. A little bit uncharacteristic, I would say, from Master Splinter. He's generally pretty on point with a lot of those, but that just means that we're not going to see as much aggression from the early game as these supports try to set things up.
It would be interesting to see if we see any of the early 2-3 minute Fang Toofs. I know some teams have group up as 4 or 5 potentially. They get the early level regen in some of the heroes and they straight up go for Fang Toof as soon as they can. What we are seeing right now is J Leo, instead of going across the map to grab the black buff to his own side, he's gone to the enemy side to grab a black buff. Took his green a lot earlier, whereas Fiedle's taken a bit of a slower route, so he's going to end up losing this black buff out to J Leo. Gives him that XP that he needs. He's going to nearly hit level 3 off of that as well.
Yeah, I rather like that one. The black buff kind of situated in a place that's rather easy for opposing junglers to take. And you see J Leo just going right back to his base as soon as he picks it up. He's done his goal. He's gotten the black buff away from the enemy. And, well, Fatal's going to go over and see that it's gone. What can he do except go all the way across the map and try to get the black buff, which isn't very feasible for him. See him going for a bit of a gank onto the left lane here. There's no scouting done. They don't really know that he's there. Nado's a bit far out. Fatal coming in, looking for the... Okay, just a double pain to start. Master Splinter with a great thunk to ward him off there, and the smash and grab is going to be way too far away. Nice little aggression there. Meanwhile, though, inside the river, it's going to be the first blood going the way of Reborn as the Oracle is going to be the first one to get taken down. Involve, though, will be soon to follow. J Leo following up with some damage on the Ninja, but the damage is a little bit split here. Reflect going on to Angel Inferno. They're kind of splitting their aggression right now, but it might end up working. Reflect is going to take the second blood. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, it's going to be Master Splinter just chasing away the Shurk, Sevrog. So a lot of kills going the way of Reborn there, and they split the aggression pretty much perfectly.
Yeah, it looked a little bit messy to begin with, but Reborn came up, cleaned up. They had the overall damage here with the Richter. The Oracle, even though he fell early, it was kind of a shame. Richter ended up getting caught out around that blue buff, which is a bit not what you really want as a Richter support. You want to be there to be able to silence consistently, pull and silence basically. Early levels, you most likely don't take your electrocute until level 3.
You get a nice smash and grab, double knock up by Fatal Barrage. But unfortunately, Shurk was already a little bit too low on health in order to go on there.
It's the typical issue with offlaners nowadays. You can get really heavily pushed. You see Taskmaster come out on a lot of heroes. It's a card the offlaner is kind of forced to take, because if he doesn't take it, the support on the opposing side is going to take Taskmaster, and the lane's going to be permanently pushed again.
Reflect getting the damage on the Oracle, just needs a little bit more out of the line tempo, and he gets the kill onto the Richter. I mean, Reflect, he just takes advantage of this hero so well, picks up another kill. He's been pretty involved in this early game.
This is not looking great for Hoist the Colors. Reflect getting this early lead with this Possessed Sprite already activated, level 5. It's going to be rough. He's going to get incredibly strong. Shimby can be one of those heroes that you just can't kill. If she manages to snowball and get these early game points into Vitality and ends up getting the survivability that she needs, ooh, the carry's going to have a miserable day.
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot let Reflect Shimby get going. And they're trying to get some aggression onto her, but they're missing the Riplashes and they're missing the shots. They're not getting anything onto Reflect, and it's going to be even further nullified by that Possess he's picked up.
In mid lane, though, there does look like there's a gank on Involve here by Fatal.
Can Involve actually put his fast boots on to get away from this one? The Rock is going to miss Fatal underneath the tower. Gets the smash and grab for the kill. At least Hoist the Colors are able to get something here. Meanwhile, though, on the other side of the map, Shurk's starting to go on to Nado. I highly doubt this is going to go anywhere. Nice little teamwork to get the thunk into a shot from Nado6 to secure their gold.
So it is 4-2 on the board. There is still a slight lead for Reborn. If you're just looking at gold, there's a 4,000 lead, 4,500 lead gold across onto Reborn, which is a card point. It's an extra sprite in. It's a fairly substantial lead. And if the one thing I have been a bit interested to see is neither team is risking going for this Fangtooth. I suspect we're going to wait to see the Zetchins come out, get a couple of levels on the Zetchin so that they can take the 50-50 sort of steal with Zetchins rather than sort of wait for an ability to try and steal it. Because Zetchin, once you get those stacks racked up, when it does that extra bit of damage, a much safer, secure for your team to go with.
Yeah, and Flame of Zekin is definitely something that we see Jay Leo picking up quite a bit. So I would expect Reborn to be very strong around those objectives. Meanwhile, some aggression in the offlane once again for Reborn. Reflect going onto the Oracle, and he's going to go for the all-kill. Does manage to get it onto the Oracle. This guy has been absolutely abused by Reflect, and Reflect has essentially taken this offlane by storm.
Yeah, you see Richter go in the jungle a lot more nowadays than you see him in the support role. He can get heavily punished the second he misses his hook, and Reflex been taking full advantage of that, punishing the Oracle every single time he knows a few cooldowns have gone down. If the hook's gone down, he just jumps straight in, regens up, and that's it.
Here comes Jay Leo with the circle rhythm all over by Reflect. Angel Inferno will go down. A little bit of a spectator bug there for you guys as he has no health over in that lane. And we're going to have to see some kind of reaction, but it just comes way too late from Hoist of Colors. They get to the left lane, but they still can't find anything there.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point Reflect is just winning 2v1 most of the time. That is probably the best position you can be in as an offlaner. It's like, yep, it's 2v1. They can't kill me, and I can go on the aggression here. And as the Shimby, you love that being in that position because you can push up, you can then rotate to mid lane once you've pushed up, and two people are out of commission in that safe lane. They can't just easily rotate. Oracle needs to get to level 5. He needs to get that ultimate ready. So he can't just walk away because that pushes that even further back. And as a Richter, he really needs it for the team fights.
He absolutely does. He's just been not doing too well in this early game. See him only at level 3. Maybe Hoist of Colors can get something going in the mid lane. They need to get this hook. Misses. Involve will get hit by the smash and grab as well as the knockup. And the Tesla Dome does go down. You know, Involve tries to get as much damage down as he can, but it's a little bit too little there. And without any rotations from his team, it's not going to work out. But look at this. Reflect already taking advantage of this one. Gets the all kill on the Angel Inferno. Not going to be the kill, though.
One stack he missed one stack, I think, when he was going for the tempo, and that was enough to Angel to stay alive. And
it may be time to back up pretty soon. Fatal Barrage coming.
I mean,
around
they can't
from the
retake
backside.
this, can they?
Well, the smash and grab misses. That will probably get Reflect out of danger, though. Maybe the Oracle can hit a hook, but he's not even going to try. Reflect is too slippery at this point in the game, and we'll have to go on to the other side of the map as Shurik's been relatively left alone in this offlane, honestly. Like, there's been some pressure from Master Splinter and NATO, but he's still managed to get his levels up.
He hasn't died, really. Like, he's been okay. He's managed to get some stacks. Probably the best sort of situation you want to be as a Sevrog. Sevrog is a bit of a difficult time in that offlane, and we're seeing this Fangtooth that we've been talking about. Jay Leo with the Zetchin is going for it.
Yeah, he has the Zetchin. He also has the orange buff. We are going to see the Seismic Assault from Involve doing a little bit of dirty work on the backside. Fatal trying to get out, but there's nowhere for him to go. Jay Leo is going to smash him into butter with the fist. And Shurik, I don't know why I like butter so much. In any case, Shurik will go down. And that just means that Reborn can go right back onto the Fangtooth if they want, or they can go for some more kills. Reflect, getting onto the Oracle, needs a little bit more damage for that one, but it's not going to be there. They still get the Richter once again very, very low. It's a position that he's been in for most of this match, and Reborn will continue to go for the Fangtooth, still having their Flame of Zekin up.
Fangtooth, it will give 5,000 gold and 20 power spread across the team, which is pretty big already. We're already looking at the points. There's about an 8k lead right now in gold over to Reborn. A nice little fight, and it's just going to keep growing here steadily. And Shimby is already 3-0-1. Reflect doing amazing right there. He's going to be even more of a nuisance right now, sitting at nearly 12k gold. Jay Leo's the only one just slightly ahead, and he's been doing really well as well.
How do you think about maybe trying to get the spectator bugs off right now? What do you think about that?
I haven't gotten any so far, so I don't know what.
I do, so let's go ahead and do that. Take care of that in just a second here. It's a little bit more difficult, guys, since we can't really see the timeline as much. Can you get to 1140 on the timeline?
1140. What, in-game timeline?
No, on the white bar thing at the bottom.
1140.
Yeah. Can you do that?
Yep, 1140.
All right. And generally, guys, you will see me try to correct the spectator bugs, but you won't usually hear it because I'm doing production but not casting. But in any case, let's start up again in 3, 2, 1, go. We are back into the game here, guys.
The river buffs are spawning now. Prime has also spawned. It is a lot easier to take nowadays. I think a lot of teams will, when they get an advantage, rush over to Prime and just going straight away, try and grab it. Ninja and Fatal looking for this fight here.
Yeah, they're trying to get in, but little do they know that Leo already has the Shadow Plane buff going on the Fatal. Getting the damage that they need. Leo already goes in to the Rampage ult, and he'll get another buff for himself as well to refill on that mana. So they get a pretty nice run and gun on the mid lane.
Reflect got taken out in that side lane with the duo with Oracle and Inferno, which is surprising because he's been dominating that lane for the entirety of the game, and it's just suddenly switched up.
One thing I do give that lane is they have a lot of silence for the Shinbi, and that's one of the better ways to try to take her down. I mean, they have the Richter silence as well as Drongo's gag grenade, so they just kind of run in, get both silences on them. Granted, they still need the damage to be able to take down Shinbi there, but it is one way to try to get her down.
Yeah, it is, and we might be seeing another gank here against NATO and Master Splinter. Vader's looking for it with that Grux.
He's trying to get into a good position, looking to get on the right side of that fog while Thunk misses, and it's going to be a beautiful smash and grab. He's going to get the knock up immediately on the Nadosic. Double smash and grab is there on top of the skewer by the Oracle. Nadosic trying to split this aggression. He goes around to the backside where he does find some help from involved. Master Splinter over to the top side. Can they take down anything here? Beautiful rotations from Reborn. Shark's getting taken low. Colossal Blow is going to force Leo away, but Involve is going to be able to finish off that one. Meanwhile, Master Splinter, he's still alive. Fatal's trying to get some work done. He's going to find Nadosic, but Nadosic is going to be able to smack some damage right into him as well. The Oracle taking the damage on the backside of this one. Involved turning it around. Leo there as well. They needed a rock. They needed another something to try to get this kill. Are they going to be able to do it? They get the Void Bomb. They get the Seismic Assault. And Involve, along with the rest of Reborn, having a fantastic turnaround to that gank.
It looked like such a great start to hoist the colors, but it seemed like they had a bit of communication issues. It looked like they decided to split up and focus two different targets. So it ended up with both of them surviving. So both NATO ended up surviving and Master Splinter because there wasn't a direct focus on either of the two. And you end up seeing sort of both players running in two different directions and Hoist the Colors not knowing what to do about it.
Yeah, some beautiful communication there from Reborn, especially Nadosic, who was the lower one out of that pair. Ended up going to the rest of his team, who had a great rotation to try to help there. That was just some brilliant strategy from Reborn, as well as just the right plays.
Yeah, I think it was just, like I was saying, just not communicating clearly. They decided to split their damage across onto two heroes rather than just take out the Murdoch, who was substantially lower, and ended up with them surviving. And now the lead is growing even further. Just look at the gold deficit with Hoist the Colors, and it is really rough for them to come back onto this. They really need to get the Fangtooth where possible, but because of the map control we're seeing here from Reborn, that is going to be near impossible.
Yep, they already missed it. Reborn capitalizing, as we expect them to, honestly. Reborn have always been an excellent team at contesting objectives, and they took the second Fangtooth extremely early, so not only is it a 15,000 gold lead for Reborn, it's also a double Fangtooth, and this is going to lead them to them trying to take down their tier 2 tower, as well as the jump pads from Hoist the Colors. Rock hits onto Shirk, looking for a Thunk, is going to hit from Master Splinter. The Smash and Grab is going to split some things out, but the Colossal Blow makes it so that Reborn avoid most of that Tesla done from Ninja. A little bit of miscommunication there, but Reborn still want to try to push their advantage here. Rock again hits onto Shirk. Leo is not going to let him get away from anything. They're trying to go on to NATO. He's going to avoid most of that damage, and this guy is still alive as the Murdoch. Shirk's going to back away, but unfortunately, Fatal was not as lucky.
The Shirk recall got stopped so many times during that fight, and this fight is just it's completely out of control already. I mean, it's really difficult right here for Hoist the Colors to ever really claw their way back. They really need to rely on Reborn making a mistake, but they've been playing incredibly cleanly. They've managed to secure the Fangtooth every single time. Once they get the third one, it's going to become substantially worse. I believe the third one is the movement speed, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to just allow Reborn to just get across the map incredibly efficiently, and it's just It's looking rough. I mean, Prime is still up. That is an objective that I would like to see Oyster Colors maybe try and go for sort of a last-ditch effort. It's one of the few things that might keep them in the game. Maybe go for sort of the 50-50 Zetchin, get the Prime, the bonuses you can get from that, and try and survive off of that. But other than that, I don't see a way for them to claw back in.
I mean, when Reborn have such a stranglehold over the entire map, and it's so difficult for Hoist the Colors to find a kill, they really have to commit about 2 or 3 heroes to it every single time. It's just so difficult to come back against them, and I think that version 44 is something that really plays into Reborn's hands. They're an exceptionally objective-minded team, and that's just something that version 44 allows so hard right now.
Yeah, it really does. As long as you keep securing these Fang Tooths, when you get to like the 5th one, just getting the bonus power every time means that even though you're going for builds like Possessed Spriking, which can't be sold, you're still going to be gaining power every time Fang Tooth comes up. And that in and of itself means that Spriking's not as bad as a late game card as you would hope it to be, because you still have a source of you have ways to get in power for free on the map. So you still get the extra stats without really losing much by going Spriking early game.
This is an extremely long Fang Tooth from Reborn. They're going to be forced off of it as it's basically given Hoist the Colors enough time to all rotate over. Reflect hanging out in the mid lane, trying to split this aggression. He's going to find the red buff for himself, getting the amplification up. Meanwhile, the rest of his team will continue to go for Fang Tooth, or will they? Trying to get some aggression on the mid lane. Reflect is going to start it up. He's very tanky, and he's definitely ready to go here. Involved getting in the middle of everything. May not want to be there. He'll be the first one to fall in this fight. Hoist the Colors looking pretty good, but here comes Jay Leo, ready to turn around. They've already taken down 2. Ninja and Shirk are the ones trying to last out this fight, but I don't know how long it's actually going to go. NATO going right after Ninja. Shirk getting hit with the rock, and he'll just melt down to Jay Leo. They're looking for the gadget kill. They're looking for everything, and they eventually do find it. Everybody off the map. Reborn looking to take the inhib in the left lane.
First inhib looks like it's going to Reborn, and this is going to allow them to now set up for Prime. They're going to have this far side of the map constantly pushing in with supers, which will need to be dealt with by Hoist the Colors. As you're saying, Reborn's an objective team. They're going to set up for this Prime. Full well knowing they can sit there and wait for a fair bit of time, wait for these supers to start pushing in, and take it when they have a 4v5 advantage. We're going to see here, Involve is going to probably set up a slow push on the other side and have at least 2 to 3 lanes pushing in from Reborn before they set up for this Prime.
We also see Master Splinter starting to put up that ward line, which I would imagine is cleared by Hoist the Colors very quickly if they have the detection, which it seems like they don't. So Reborn are going to completely control this Orb Prime, and they also took their 3rd Fang Tooth before that last fight. So right now they're just strategically so much more adept than Hoist the Colors.
Yeah, they are. It's going to be sort of, like I was saying, a 50-50. As long as Fadel's managed to keep that Flame of Zetchin, there is a chance they can steal it, but he's not there. He's not in position just yet to be able to do anything, and Reborn's already started this, and it will go down very quickly.
Yeah, Flame of Zetchin used, and just an immediate clear and control by Reborn. Hoist the Colors just knowing they really can't contest this at all, and Reborn, they're going to start to get the pushes going in the mid and the right lanes just to make sure they have all the inhibs they could possibly need to end this game. They've gotten all the control. They've gotten every Fang Tooth. They've gotten every OP. And Hoist the Colors are just reeling from all the objectives that Reborn have taken at this point.
Yeah, and if we're just looking at builds right now, Reflex gone for the Plague Lord with the Possessed Spriking Growth Totem build. A lot of health there, a lot of sustainability in fights, and it's just been really rough for them to deal with them. There is the tier 2 going down. We're probably going to see a tower dive here because there is the Prime buff. They are very ahead here, everyone. They might just want to go quickly for the end.
Again, we are seeing the exact same replay bugs that you guys are, but unfortunately, since I'm not just strictly doing production this time around, I don't have as much free time as Jay Leo goes right on in. He pops himself full of the HDH, and he goes right for Angel, getting the backlines down, which allows NATO and Master Splinter to focus on the front. Angel Inferno getting missed by the rock, but he's going to get smashed in the air by Jay Leo. Involved going with the aggression for it, gets the seismic assault on a Ninja, and he blows his brains out with the Neural Disruptor. The core will say thank you very much, I'll take that kill, but it doesn't really matter at this point. The only one on Reborn to go down right now as they take down the last inhib, and they look to end the game. OP buff still going on there, and that will be it as Hoist Colors fall in the group stage. to Reborn, making their way back into the PCL with quite a bit of fanfare.
This is the new meta right now. 20-minute match here from Reborn. They managed to control Fangtooth. They took the advantages, and then they had such a big lead 20 minutes into the game that Oyster Colours weren't able to do anything about it. It's just they didn't have the stats, plain and simple, to deal with Reborn.
They absolutely did not. Again, we do see the replay bugs on the score screen as per usual. But, I mean, still, you don't really need a score screen to know that Reborn were absolutely dominant that game. And it's quite a return to form from them. They come back in this PCL. They have a great showing against a team that did pretty well in the last one. I think they're pretty primed to look really good as we get through the quarterfinals and the semis later.
Yeah, they look like they're ready to storm through this competition right now. They are going to be one of the ones to look out for throughout the tournament. Can anyone beat them? In this sort of meta where it's extremely objective-based focus, and we know them to be one of the better sort of objective-based teams. They like to control Raptors when we had the Raptor meta. So we had the triple Raptor that was giving insane amounts of gold and CXP back then. That was a really dominating Reborn meta as well. And now it's a similar sort of thing for them. And they're going to have a lot of fun in this meta, I believe. And we're going to be interested to see if they pull out any new comps, if they maybe go for really early Fangtooths. I know some teams have gone for it at the 2-minute mark, at the 2.5-minute mark as well. And that causes a lot of fights in the early game, which are fun to see.
Absolutely, but Reborn do have some stiff competition coming their way. Gao Esports took down Think Twice, who did beat Reborn on NA servers before, so Gao Esports probably going to have to watch them. And as I said before, Arctic Wolves looking pretty good with their new roster. But with that being said, we are going to go to a quick break. Bronze Army versus the Stack coming at you guys after that. Cheers.